Ton of Green, Part 4. Why did I think I could do this alone? Dels recalled the school principal's running call that teamwork makes lighter work and brightens the day and also keeps a team strong. She knew that she would forever be grateful to the principal for insisting on peer and team teaching. These practices had kept the staff very united and determined to push the mean grades higher each time national results came out. She found the nearest fuel station and made a call to Madame J.C. Bisang, the school principal. As she waited for response, she turned on her computer and her work instinct kicked in. She needed an app to create a poster for her class the following week. I think Canvas will serve me better. She wrote that in her notes. Then I also need to include some games in my lesson. I think some of my students do not learn well because they get bored very easily. And I think Kahoot will do. She also wrote that one down. Oh no, how will I tell when Robert leaves the house? She drove back to where they had branched. Thankfully, the car was still there. I can't wait here, but it's so dark. Suddenly, terror filled the pit of her stomach. Silently, she heard these words. Arise and shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you. For behold, darkness covers the earth. Meanwhile, from her house, Madame Jessie, the school principal, swung into action, and within no time, she had reached Robert's residence, only to find Robert having supper with his brother and sister. She was openly surprised at the turn of events. Robert, what's going on? How is it possible that you are here? Didn't you leave a note in Dell's office today? Pardon me, madam. I was in her office, but I did not leave any note. What? She called from Limuru a few minutes ago saying you are in trouble. Clearly, madam, as you can see, I'm very fine, and I'm here. There must be some confusion. Robert responded, irritated. The phone rang, and Madame Jessie frantically searched into her sack of a bag to answer it. Dels was calling. Her voice was too low for Madame Jessie to decipher what was being communicated. Dels felt like her life was fast ebbing out. I must think positive thoughts, she encouraged herself. She thought of Marilyn Cialo, a student whose life had been a mystery to the teaching staff until she, Dels, intervened. She wondered aloud with the little strength she was grasping onto. If I should die now, who will take care of that precious girl? Then she whispered, God, please allow me to live for her sake. Dels was deeply thankful that she had established the practice of always checking and marking students' exercise books. In fact, she even came up with a strategy whereby she fixed her students into groups of 5s. Each group would choose its officials, namely chairperson, secretary, presenter, welfare officer, and discipline master, just to ensure that each member had some responsibilities. Each week, the chairperson would append her signature in the books of her group members, all of them having completed the homework that was given. Then the secretary would collect the books after certain intervals and bring them to Dels. Out of this practice of collecting students' notebooks, she had learned the importance of reading between the lines. Herein, she could pick certain emotions. The affective domain meant a lot in her teaching. Marilyn's composition had been a great savior even to the entire family and the school. She concluded that teachers should always be very keen when reading students' work. It was heading to 9 in the evening, and her colleagues had not yet arrived. Her mind flew back to the afternoon encounter. When Robert had come to Dell's office late that afternoon, his reaction to the inscription on the water bottle had baffled her. Hence, She had forgotten to take her usual cup of coffee and groundnuts. Her mother had drummed it into her head that groundnuts were very good for the heart. She recalled the conversations with her mother every so often after that. Dels moved away from the family home. Dels, how is your heart doing? My heart? Yes, your dear. Your heart? Mom, my heart has not been broken. I mean, I'm so whole as fish swimming upstream, she would respond to her mother's delight. In that case, do always ensure that you take your usual groundnuts and oh, don't forget to add turmeric to your food, dear. The lively conversations would always leave her feeling refreshed and energized. Hence, she made sure that she ate at least 10 pieces of groundnuts a day. Her mind flew back into the vehicle where she was all alone in the middle of what looked like a deserted road. It was dark, but she could see that the road shoulder on the left-hand side was adjacent to a steep climb. She had stopped in the middle of the road. She realized that she needed to have taken her medication for a bout of a terrible cough she had been recovering from. In all the desperate move to save Robert, she had forgotten about herself. Madame Dels, are you there? She heard the principal's voice that was becoming very faint with each passing sound. Dell did what she thought could help her better. She disconnected the phone call and turned her mobile phone light on. Just then, she heard a voice. Huyu ni mwenyewe. Leo tumepata dhahabu. That is, this is the rich one. Today we have captured gold. The hoarse male voice sounded very excited. For more, join me in for part 5.